What's up guys, Kyle here from Feed Me Techno with another tutorial, this time on how to make electro house sounding drums. How to make, your own drums that aren't loops, because producers sometimes always use these loops and it's just like, come on man, you don't use loops, you make your own drums. And this is showing you how I do it. There's probably many ways, but in FL Studio this is how I go about making my electro house drums, because really the drums are the really big part of the track. I mean, you don't have a track unless you have the drums sounding really good. So it's always an important foundation. So with that being said, I'm going to set my tempo down to 128 right here. So that's a classic electro house feel. And so right off the bat, this is how FL Studio comes. I selected some closed hi-hats right here already just for the sake of time. But if you make a new track, it looks like this. So what I do at the beginning of every track is I always replace the kick. I got this Vengeance Essential Club sounds right here. I go to bass drums and I go to clubhouse kicks, and there's just some really nice, really strong sounding kicks in this one. I really recommend this because this is some really good sounding samples. But I always find a good deep sounding bass drum. Let's see here. That one sounds good. So I'm going to replace that with the original kick. Alright, so I'm going to enable that strong kick. And then what I do is I just get a clubby kick. That sounds like a good one. And I'm going to go over here and I'll label it soft kick. Alright, so this one is a little more powerful than the other one. So you can see there's two different sounding kicks, and that's all I'm going to use for right now. Now, you see the clap that comes with it. I mean, it's cool. I mean, it's a good clap, but we're not going to use that. Let's be serious. We want to make our tracks have some originality. So I'm going to go to my other sample pack. That sounds like a good clap. I'm going to find another one. Yep, that one sounds different. I'm going to try and make sure all these claps have a distinct sound, so they don't all sound like the same thing. I'm going to use this one. So now I have 3 claps right here. And I'm going to label on clap 1, clap 2. And to do this, by the way, I'm holding shift and then clicking it. And that lets me select it like that instead of having to right click. So clap 3. Alright, now I got all these labeled right here. Now I'm going to go, I went through the trouble of finding some hi-hats, but these are all closed hi-hats. So I'm going to type in closed hi-hat 1. Closed hi-hat 2, and closed hi-hat 3. And then I'm going to go find an open hi-hat. Now let's go to my cymbals, open. That's a good sounding open one. I'm going to try and get one more. Alright, now we got 2 open cymbals. Open hi-hat 1, open hi-hat 2. Alright, now I'm going to go in and save this right now. Save as Electro, can't type, Electro drum tutorial, whatever. Alright, so that way I keep saving, so if FL Studio crashes, like it does sometimes, you're in good shape and you don't want to waste all your time doing all this. So I'm going to go ahead, and all I need to do now is find a shaker. So I just type in shaker with Control F, and I just put that one down there. It's nice and quick. And now I'm going to get some snares really fast. So I'm going to go to my snares, and just from dealing with this, I know I like 17. It's like a staticky snare. I'm going to get that one. And I only really need 2 snares for right now. Snare, snare, 2. Alright, so there we go. We got most of the instruments we're going to need for our electro house track. Now, as you know, all forms of house music pretty much just has that straightforward kick. It always starts off like that. Maybe they add something, but the key is for electro house to make your drum sound fresh, you gotta layer your stuff, as with mostly everything. So I always had 2 kicks right there. Now for the claps, just gonna put them right here. And the reason I use 3 claps is just one of them just sounds not that good. But if I add all of them, it It gives it a really unique sound. So what really makes your drums sound more humanistic and a lot more real is the levels, the velocities of each individual note. So I'm going to go ahead and make clap 1 way down here, maybe raise this one up a little bit. I'm going to go over here to clap 2. I'm going to leave this one right here and bring this one way down. I'm going to go to 3. I'm just going to put it right in the middle. So now we have all of our sounds, you know, hitting at different times. So it's not going to sound like the same thing over and over again. So you got essentially 2 different sounds. 1, 2, 3, 4. And 2 and 4 are different. So that's good. For the hi-hats, I mean, you can do a lot of things. Right now I'm just going to leave it on 4. Doing this gives it a heavier, sort of walking drum feel, as opposed to without. So I'm going to go ahead and add that. Once again, adjust your levels. I'm going to make this one low, this one high, this one low, this one high, because that's how I think a realistic human drummer would play it. So now that we got that settled, you know, once you add your shaker later on, you can always just do on the off beats like this. This is a classic shaker one. You know, but for now we're going to take that out. And then of course you would just add your snares right here. Let me take this off. Yeah. So get 2 different snare sounds. So right now, these drums sound a lot better if you were just to use your standard, you know, instrument tracks that came with FL, or maybe you just threw in the 1 sample. The key is here to really layer the drums. But for intricate electro house sounding tracks, you can't just have that. That's boring. I mean, it's the same thing over and over and over and over again. So some things to do is first the kick drum. Since I have 2 kick drums here, I can make the soft kick drum kick right here and right here, and I can change the velocities down below and like that. And now I'm gonna get a really cool sounding drum track that's, you know, not complicated at all, but it gives a little bit more flavor. So then you can do a lot over that, and a lot of the magic from the electro house drums really comes from the hi-hats, because the claps are doing the same thing, snares are hitting doing the same thing, and the kick drums just going. So really, the things musicians work with most in FL is the hi-hats, and that's why I have selected so many. I have 5 or 6 actually. So this is what they all sound like. And so with the hi-hats, you're not going to want to work in your sequencer. To get good sounds, you're going to have to want to go to your piano roll, just always. And you're going to want to make a really small note like this and just shorten the duration. See, because you're just triggering the sample, so the smaller the note is, it'll be easier to work with. So a lot of the electro house feel comes from like a swing feel. And to get that, you need to go to snap and 1/6 beat. And you want to zoom in. So now you'll see all 6 of them right here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5, 6, and etc. I can't talk, but the classic electro sound is that you know, that walking electro groovy feel. And to do that, we just place the notes right here, and here, and here. So it'll be dun 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 dun. Let's hear it with the metronome. So, you know, that's the simple, standard, generic electro drum track, I feel I would want to call it. So that's very stereotypical. So what you can do from here is you can do some subtraction. Maybe I want to take this out, this out, this out, this out, take out this, and this. And now I'm going to go to my second hi-hat. I'm going to put in notes, you know, around where I took out the other ones. And I'm just going to randomly insert these here. You know, just all over the place. And I'm just going to go to the next one too. Randomly just insert these things. But only on the places where that electro feel is. So I'm not going to put a note right here. I mean right there. I mean I'm not going to leave that there. That's not where I want it. It has to be on one of these points. Because then it just makes it, you know, it just makes it sound really good. Just going to go over here. So now I'm going to listen to what I have now.